Sorry about the interruption, I just had to change battery. You were saying, Stig, you're making a good point there about Joshua's not a one-punch KO artist. They're more flurries, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
He mounts an attack, and in doing that, he gasses himself. I mean, you only got to watch how Anthony likes to box. He likes to throw 3 or 4 punches, and then his natural rhythm. He'll do that, then he will back off, drop his left hand, have a bit of a breather, move around for a bit, and then he'll do it again. That's what he does. That's his natural rhythm. When he attacks, because he's going to finish someone, he exceeds that 3 or 4 punches, and then he starts to gas. So if it doesn't work, you're in trouble. Now, Deontay has, unless you've got magnificent, elite powers of recovery, like Tyson's proven he's got, when Deontay hits you once, you are in massive trouble. But I can't see Anthony being able to get away with hitting Tyson as much as he needs to finish him. Because Tyson's going to do all sorts of things. He'll lean on him, he'll tie him up. He'll move. He's not going to be able to hit Tyson that much to finish him off. It ain't going to happen.
What you've got, another thing, Stig, as well. Yeah, you're right there. Another thing is, Tyson, right, we all said that you've got to hit him and nail him to the floor. Well, he's been hit by the hardest puncher ever, and he got up twice. He only got hit twice in the whole fight. Yeah. Now, Joshua doesn't hit as hard as Wilder, so and Tyson, he'll get up anyway, won't he? So, and who's to say that Joshua's going to be throwing punches in round 12? Wilder carries his power. But you remember when Joshua fought Vladimir, didn't he collapse at the end? He collapsed after it got stopped, you know, against Vladimir. He knew he'd gassed. And if he hadn't finished Vladimir off then, if that ref didn't stop it, he were gassing. And I'll tell you another thing as well, and everybody keeps missing this, everybody forgets. In that Takam fight, when they stopped that fight, he was fuming Takam. Joshua was spent. And Takam was saying that he wasn't even hurting him in that last couple of rounds because he was gassed. No. So
that was, mate, there's so many controversies over Anthony's career that have been effectively spun. And all these Matchroom SC fanboys that like to troll me, mate, it's disgraceful. It really is. Yeah. But, you know, we're going to have to deal with it, and we can deal with it. It doesn't matter, mate. As long as Tyson doesn't take it to heart and keeps on doing what he's doing, it will all come right. It's coming right because of that, and that will just keep on happening. Tyson's in charge, mate. Keep on doing what you're doing, Tyson, and it'll all come good. And when the heavyweight division's right, boxing's right. At the moment, the heavyweight division, it's busy, it's high profile, but it ain't right. We got these interlopers called Matchroom and Eddie.
Interlopers!
Pretending and saying that they are the best. That's not the truth. And there's lots of people that do believe them. But it's never been the truth. Tyson went off the rails. They enjoyed a couple of year period. Tyson's back, Tyson's behaving properly, Tyson's doing the right thing. He is the man. And that's the truth.
Yeah, you're probably right. After that performance against Wilder, you're probably right, but he hasn't got the belt. But what he has got, he's got another chance to get that belt, and then he knows he's got to fight Wilder again. So he could probably earn $40 million in the next 2 fights. And if he gets that belt, he's in a massive position of strength. He can be screaming then about him having 60 and Joshua 40, because who is Joshua really fighting? I mean, he keeps calling out Tyson and Wilder, but he's fighting, you know, Takam, Povetkin, and Miller. I mean, these are C-class guys, if that. Povetkin's a blown-up cruiserweight. He's in his 40th year. I mean, it's poor from them, and I know they've got to do it best for the. Go on, what?
No, to come back to that 60-40 thing, like I was saying, I can see Tyson, he's growing in the US, owning America, and consequently I can see that financially a 60-40 split in Tyson's favour would make sense. And even at that ratio, Anthony would still earn more money than he's earned in any of his other fights, because the US market is so massive. And Tyson is perfect for that market. He should move to America.
Yeah, I mean, well, you've got to look at it like this, right? I mean, people keep saying all these bad things about Tyson Fury, but he's never been in trouble in his life.
No.
He's never been in trouble.
I had a fight only last Friday.
Were you having a knock on back garden last Friday, Stig?
Sorry?
Did you have a knock on back garden last Friday with someone?
In the cab?
Yeah, in cab. Were you fighting in your cab?
Well, yeah, the blokes tried to give me a fake £50 note, didn't they?
Yeah, but you don't take 50s anyway, do the cabbies?
Oh, I take 50s, yeah, of course I do.
How can you check? Do you know how to check, Stig? Do you know how to check if they've got proper ones?
Well, you rub the red bit on a bit of paper.
Yeah, is that what you did?
Well, there's lots of things. Mate, I see a lot of 50s. I know what 50s are. I knew instantly this was fake. Basically, Tyson is a lovely guy. He's a really decent bloke. He's never had a fight outside of a boxing ring. So what we can say with confidence then is that the Stig has had more fights in his life than Tyson Fury, because I've had a lot of fights outside of the ring. I've never fought in the ring. Tyson is a really decent, honourable, conservative family man. That's Tyson Fury.
Have you ever thought about getting a job as Tyson Fury's PR man, Stig?
Well, I've got the job, I just don't get any money for it, mate.
Well, I'm sure Tyson will get you a ticket for when he fights Wilder, won't he?
Oh, I doubt it, mate. Look, mate, I just have got a lot of respect for that bloke. I saw a huge talent who made some mistakes when he got to the top, and I knew I could see the potential, and I was just broken-hearted and frustrated that he was taking all this negativity to heart, and his talent wasn't shining. And I just wanted to do anything I could to try and help him overcome that. And basically, that was to try and deal with these trolls.
Yeah.
You know, and they weren't dealt with, mate, and you never will deal with them. And what you've got to learn is to not take them to heart. And what I've learned to do is to forgive them. But now, I don't bother with them, mate, anymore. There's no point. Tyson isn't in a bad place anymore. So when people, only today, there's some bloke, he's some stupid guy. He's got the cheek to say that he's a fine Englishman, and he implies that I'm a paedophile. So
Stig, listen, I get that all the time. I get called a paedophile, a rapist, a grass. Somebody said I sleep with my dog. You know, you just have to take it as a pinch of salt. Then when they see you in real life, they'll say, "All right, Stig, how are you doing?" Look, it's just people venting their frustrations on social media. I won't read too much into it.
No, I don't. But I've said to him, you know, have you got any proof of that, mate? Or whatever he's got.
See, that's where you slipped up, taking him on.
No, but he's going to get blocked, mate. I'm just going to block him. Because anyone that says something like that is a waste of time. They're not worth dealing with. And in my opinion, the Furies and everybody should just block people like that, because they are scum. You can't go saying things like that to people. It's outrageous.
I don't see any.
Worth the time of day.
Yeah, I don't see any bad comments on YouTube now, because they get took off before I see them, because they don't. If NJ don't want me dwelling on anything like that, also and that's for best. So I don't. I'm in a bubble. I've got a good team around me, and I don't deal with negativity. I had a chat with Dennis about it the other day, and he said, look, because he's into positive thinking, Dennis, Richard Towers, and
we all
so we don't have.
It's good to be
So we don't have any negativity around us, because we're flying at the moment with Chandler. There's all sorts lined up. We're really happy with it, so it's going in the right direction.
I can see that you're in an increasingly good place, Russ.
Yeah.
I can see massive progress in your life and what you're doing, and I'm really pleased for you. It's great.
Thank you very much, Philip. That's nice. And you're happy with your life, aren't you? Every time I see a black cab, I think about you.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
I think God Stig will be in his cab now in London.
Well, not for the next 2 days. I'm having 2 days off.
Stig's having time off?
Sorry?
Stig having time off?
Yeah, I'm having 2 days off, yeah.
Well, that's good then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Has Heather moved in with you yet?
No. She's not. That wouldn't work presently. So no. We just make ourselves available.
Oh, right.
When it's necessary. So
but she's your woman, isn't she, Stig?
Yeah, she definitely thinks I'm special, yeah.
Well, that's brilliant. So, and obviously it's Valentine's Day today, isn't it, Stig?
It is, mate, yeah.
So you and Heather are going out for a romantic meal?
Yeah, we're going to go to Derby Arms on Epsom Downs, yeah.
Derby Arms, up Epsom. Yeah, that's where Jimmy White lives, isn't it?
Yeah, as you actually do know, Jimmy White is my next door neighbour, yeah.
Jimmy White, the snooker player?
He's my next door neighbour, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Jimmy White, eh? Brilliant. You don't
he is alright. He's a bit cautious of me because there's been some trolling on Twitter about it, and understandably he's probably a bit nervous of me, Jimmy White.
Alright.
But yeah, he's my next door neighbour, yeah.
Ah, well, listen, at the end of the day, as long as you get on with him and you do neighbourly things, I bet you give him a lift every now and then, don't you, if he needs a lift?
I've only seen him the once, mate, because I'm so rarely at home. I've only seen him the once. He was just opening up his post box as I drove past.
It's not Jim Davidson, is it?
No, not Jim Davidson, no.
Because he's a cockney like you, isn't he?
He is a cockney, yeah, he is, yeah.
And Jimmy White's tooting, isn't he?
Well, I'm not a cockney. I'm not a cockney, mate. I was born in Wimbledon.
Yeah, but that's cockney, isn't it? I thought he's sort same, innit?
Say it again.
Sort same, innit? London.
No. I mean, to be a proper cockney, you've got to be born within the sound of Bow Bells. So you're a proper East Ender.
What's Bow Bells?
Like yeah. The church, the bells from the church.
Oh, right.
Bow Bells, yeah.
Oh, right. So what's Eddie Earn then into your cockney?
No, he's an Essex boy.
Oh, right. I'm with you. Oh, so when I say to Eddie, he's a flash cockney, he's not a cockney then?
No, he's not a cockney. He's a flash Essex boy.
Flash Essex, a wide boy, Essex wide boy.
He's an Essex wide boy, but he's not a cockney, no. I'm not a cockney, I'm a Londoner.
You're
born in Wimbledon and I live in Surrey.
Oh, right, yeah. I've actually been to Epsom. There's horse racing there, isn't there? I didn't go to racing, but I have been to that area to buy a car many years ago. It's quite nice, isn't it?
It is lovely, yeah. It is beautiful.
Yeah. Do you get much?
I mean, we're going to go for a walk this afternoon, and I think tomorrow we're probably going to go and walk over Box Hill, which is near us as well. That's
brilliant!
Lovely views of Sussex from Box Hill.
Oh, brilliant, Stig.
That's where they had the Olympic cycling race was all around there, so you're absolutely inundated with people with blokes in lycra and racing bikes. Lots of that.
Right. Right. Well, what do you think to Billy Joe Saunders, Stig, at the moment?
What do I think?
What do you think?
Now isn't he going to fight? He's going to fight Andre, isn't he?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. Again, and I think Billy has seen Tyson's progress and has realised that he needs to turn the way he carries on around, and I think he's genuinely going to do that. I think he does regret the ways he was carrying on, and yeah, I think the future's looking good for Billy. As you know, and as we all know, he's definitely got the talent to be a big player in the middleweight division.
Yeah.
And I look forward. It'd be great. I'd love to see Billy really behaving himself, acting like a gentleman outside the ring, and showing his talent in the ring. That's what I really would like to see.
Who do you think wins, Stig, between Warrington and Galahad?
Yeah, I think it'll be Warrington actually. Yeah,
on point.
Warrington actually. I'm really impressed with Josh Warrington. I think he's developed immensely. I mean, I was listening to him the other day talking about he wasn't nervous before he fought Carl, and then he realised that in actual fact he wasn't nervous before he fought Lee Selby either. And he realised all of a sudden, you know how it is in Russ, and you're going through that now in what you're doing on YouTube.
Penny drops.
Coming to a new realisation and phase of your life, and that's what's happened.
Is that what I'm going through, Stig?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we all do it, mate. It's called living and growing up, and it's a journey. I mean, we've seen it in Tyson's life. It happens to everybody. You live and learn.
Yeah.
And no, it's good. No, I'm impressed with Josh Warrington. He comes across extremely well now when he's interviewed. He actually does remind me, I guess it's the accent, of Dennis, actually.
Yeah, they've got that similar accent, haven't they? Yorkshire, broad Yorkshire.
Yeah, but he's also a confident lad, and you know, he's a success. So yeah, he does remind me of a young Dennis. Not that I knew Dennis when I was a youngster, but or Dennis when he was young. But yeah, no, I'm impressed with Josh, very much so. Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen, Stig, with Dillian Whyte? Who do you think he's going to fight next?
I think it's probably going to be Brazil, isn't it? Brazilian.
Yeah, Brazil. It's looking that way, but yeah. Who do you think wins that?
Dillian.
Dillian on points or stoppage? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think you'll probably stop him. Yeah. Stop him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about all the talk about Mayweather going to fight Pacquiao again? Would you want to see that, Stig? Because I wouldn't.
No, not especially, but it'll probably happen and a lot of people will buy it.
Yeah.
It'll make them a lot of money and good luck to them, really.
Not as much as first one, though.
Really. Sorry?
Not as much as the first fight, money-wise.
Probably not, no. 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 It won't. And that, obviously that fight happens 6 years later than it should have, really. Yeah. I mean, look, you've got to admire Floyd as a businessman. And I was listening to a fantastic interview yesterday of Jay Prince, who was Floyd's manager.
Back in the day, yeah.
That bloke, that's a very, very, very astute and clever bloke. I was really impressed. I enjoyed listening to that interview. You've got to admire Floyd as a businessman, but for me, Pacquiao's style is one that degenerates more over time, essentially aggression and, you know, very busy and active, more so than Floyd's.
Yeah.
So obviously Floyd, the later he left it, the more it was in Floyd's interest, really, and that's what happened. But, you know, massive fan of Pacquiao. Arguably, Manny Pacquiao he had a run of about 14 fights, and the level of fighter that he fought is probably greater than a run of any other fighter in all of boxing history.
Oh, Manny Pacquiao.
In his peak, oh mate, that's beyond me. But basically, he had 14 fights, and every one was a top 5 in his peak. And that compares, or is better than any other fighter as a run of fights in history. So you've got to have a lot of respect for Manny Pacquiao. He's a genuine fighter.
Yeah, you're probably right. But you got to look at Floyd Mayweather's resume, haven't you? He's beat 20 world champions.
Yeah, but Floyd, yes, he has. And look, you've got to respect him, and you have to. He's a huge success.
Yeah.
But he did definitely pick people when they were either younger than their peak or when they were past their peak. That's what Floyd was good at doing. And hey, good luck to him, you know.
Yeah.
Floyd really was the first ever person in boxing to really be a success as an individual using social media. And he did it very well, and he played to his market in the USA. Good luck.
Yeah, he did,
It's a fantastically successful story.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
You can't knock the guy.
No. What do you think's going to happen with the Anthony Yarde situation? Do you think he's ever going to fight anybody, Stig?
Well, he's going to eventually, isn't he? And he'll either prove himself or he'll be found out. I certainly don't think he'd do particularly well against Kovalev if he fought him next. I think Kovalev would win that. He's not seasoned.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be a step too far. And I mean, it's a bit of a travesty that he's #1 mandatory or in the #1 slot in the WBO.
Yeah.
But Yeah, he's going to have to fight someone.
You've been doing your homework, Stig, haven't you?
Sorry?
You've been doing your homework.
Mate, all I do is sit in my cab
study boxing
and listen to people talk about boxing. That is all I do.
Right, what do you think? Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Occasionally I stop doing that and talk to Heather. That's basically what I do.
Stig, what do you think about Conor Benn being world number 6 with the WBA, but yet he's not won a Southern Area belt yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a travesty, mate, and I mean that was an excellent video you did the other night about that.
Yeah.
Basically, mate, that position has unequivocally been brought. He is part of a very effective, hard-working promotional team.
Yeah.
That's what he's part of, and his dad's Nigel Benn.
Do you think they're rushing them? Do you think they're rushing the kids?
Josh Kelly is a better fighter than Conor Benn. And Conor Benn, same promotional outfit, is above him in that ranking. I mean, come on.
Broner's below them.
I know. Now, Broner is pretty good, actually. I know he's a professional heel as a boxer, but he is pretty good. No, we'll fight Broner. That will definitely sell. That will definitely sell that fight. But tell you what, Conor Benn will not win that fight. No way.
Yeah. Well, what?
I mean,
how about? Go on. Sorry.
Manny Pacquiao could fight Conor Benn. He could call it out because he's in the top 10 in that thing, and that's where Manny's the top. I mean, that's just not realistic, is it? He's nowhere near that level. Not at the moment, he's not, and probably he may never be.
I was just about to say, what if Manny Pacquiao needs a voluntary and he goes down rankings and he ends up with Conor Benn or Keith Thurman? It'd be a bloodbath, wouldn't it?
That night, do you remember that night when Barry was having a go at us saying we had no class on Twitter?
Barry Earn, yeah.
When we were trying to get the Disco Kennedy fight made, weren't we?
Yeah, Danny Kennedy, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be funny. I'd like to see Manny call out Conor.
He's at the Wildcard Gym at the moment, Stig.
Sorry?
He's at the Wildcard Gym, Danny Kennedy, at the moment, training.
Oh, is he?
In Los Angeles, yeah, training there. So, good luck to him. Shout out Danny Kennedy, hope you're alright.
Yeah.
But yes, the rankings at the moment, what you've got is, you've got a lot of Eddie's young fighters, Conor Benn, Josh Kelly. They're 6 and 7. Then you've got Boatsi's number 5, but he's fought no one. Coley's number 6, and he's awful to watch. You know, they get a WBA international belt against a guy with 30 losses, and then they get a world ranking. But I'm going to ask you an important question here now, Stig. Do you think that these matchroom fighters have contracts with commercial companies and that they are involved with these commercial companies, but they have to have a world ranking and they have to stay undefeated? Because do you think there's something that's tied to Joshua with that, where he has to keep his own and prolong it and drag it out, and there's incentives for him to be unbeaten and things like that? Do you think that's why Joshua doesn't take risks and a lot of the other Hearn fighters, because they've got JD Sports on board and other commercial partners, StubHub and that? Do you think they have to stay undefeated?
I wouldn't have thought that there's something. Well, maybe there is written, but but to preserve that image, especially with Anthony, is Eddie's main remit. That's his raison d'etre, unequivocally.
Yeah.
But you see, unfortunately for Eddie, Tyson has the talent. In fact, the Furies have the talent. Let's not forget Huey.
Yeah.
Tyson has the talent, and he's using that effectively. Eddie doesn't stand a chance. He can spin as much as he likes. As long as Tyson keeps on looking after his body in training and being a gentleman, Eddie is finished. It's fantastic. Brilliant.
Yeah, but you've got to understand, right?
What Eddie says.
Do you know if let's say for instance Joshua's going to get out boxing. For him to get out boxing, he's got to lose to Wilder twice and Fury twice. He's going to have to fight them both twice, and that's 4 fights. Now, out of them 4 fights, Joshua's going to get probably 150 million quid, right? because they're going to be massive, them fights, when they happen. Eddie Hearn's probably going to get 30 million in his cut, 20%, plus he's going to get commercial money off that. Eddie's probably going to get 50 million. So put that 50 million with the other 150 that they've already got. They're not going to come back to boxing and mess about with Lawrence Okoli on a Wednesday night at York Hall and Conor Benn, are they?
Maybe not.
So I think that as soon as Joshua's done, I think that Eddie Hearn will be gone. And I think it'll be left to, you know, your Frank Warrens, Mick Ennis's, Dennis Hobson's and them to pick up the pieces. It will remind me of when Steve Collins beat Eubank and Barry Hearn pulled out of boxing, didn't he? He got out of it.
Hey, I'll tell you what, mate. Do you know why Steve Collins retired?
Yeah, he had to fight Joe Calzaghe as his mandatory. He retired, didn't he? He probably had enough as well at the time. No,
basically, the only challenge that Steve Collins wanted was Roy Jones Jr. And
yeah, but he had a chance to fight Roy Jones. Roy Jones were at his peak. He didn't want to know. Steve Collins liked to fight guys when they were finished, like Ben and Eubank. They were finished when he fought them. They were at the end of their careers.
As I understand it from Steve, not that I listen, not that I've spoken to him, but from Trish Dixon's podcast, basically, he after the Eubank and Ben fights, there were a lot of up-and-comers, which would have included Joe Calzaghe.
Robin Reed.
That wanted to fight Steve, but there wasn't a lot of money in it, and Steve didn't really feel it was a challenge. He was actually wanting the fight, and he was in Roy Jones's house trying to make this fight.
So Steve Collins says. Well, I know another side to that story, and the other side is Dennis's fighter Clinton Woods fought Roy Jones, and Roy Jones has also Roy Jones has been stopped at Dennis's place in Jersey because he did an evening with Roy Jones. And I can assure you that Steve Collins' story, I don't know whose is true, Steve Collins' story is totally different to Roy Jones' story. Although when they're in each other's company, they might hug and kiss and shake hands. But I can assure you that Roy Jones at the time were undefeated, and that he had the chance to fight Roy Jones, Steve Collins, and he didn't. He could have fought Nigel Benn back in the day, but he didn't want to fight him. He waited until he was shot to bits, and he waited till Eubank was shot to bits. He got them at the right time, and Roy Jones would have bashed him up then.
Was that not the case though, that Steve Collins was boxing out in the USA, and the Hearns wouldn't give him a chance at Ben and Eubank?
He were fighting with the
USA, wasn't he?
He were with the Petronellis in Boston, Massachusetts. They trained Marvin Hagler, or they did train Marvin Hagler till he retired. Now when Steve Collins were out there, he wasn't making big noise about fighting Ben and Eubank when they were at the peak. He got them at the end of their careers. So I don't know where he's coming from. I don't know where he's coming from with that. You've only got to go box. Go look at box, Rick. Look how many fights Ben and Eubank had when they fought Collins, and look how many Collins had.
I'm not disputing what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's all rubbish, and I don't believe for 1 minute that Roy Jones didn't want to fight him back in the day. Steve can dine out on that, and he can do an evening with Steve Collins all he wants. Yeah, you might have enjoyed the story. Listen, there's Steve Collins' story, and there's a truth. So, don't believe it for 1 minute, mate. Go on, go on.
On that note, mate, shall we part company?
Yeah, okay then. Well, listen, it's just coming up for 30 minutes anyway on second battery. So, listen, you take care, Stig. Thanks for coming on channel. It's been a pleasure. You're getting very good with your knowledge and that, and you're picking it all up. So well done. And we've got your hardcore badge now. So welcome to the hardcore club. All right, mate.
All right,
and give Ever my best, and have a good happy Valentine's. Have a good Valentine's Day, Stig. All right.
Cheers, bud.
See you, mate. Bye, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Oh, that was the Stig, aka Stig Power. He's actually getting quite knowledgeable. He'll be getting a job soon with somebody as a matchmaker's consultant. I tell you what, you know, Stig, I could say to Stig, give me 10 names for Tommy Frank's next opponent if he wins Commonwealth on March 15th, and I bet he could come up with 10 names, all that have got could fight for Commonwealth. You know, Australian, Indian, Pakistani, South African, Nigerian.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't boxed at a venue like that since Molina, and that was at the Manchester Arena. That was back in what, December 2015, I think. So.
No, Eddie, it was December 2016. In 2015, Anthony Joshua were fighting in British title fights against Dillian Whyte. So you're a full year out there, Eddie. So stop trying to make out that Joshua's had the belt a year longer than he has. Alright, Eddie? Get your facts right, Eddie, if you're going to do your job properly. If you're a good liar, you've got to have a good memory.
It's been a long time boxing in an arena. It's not just the arena, it's obviously the time zone, it's different commissions, it's different rings, different guys, all kinds of different things to consider, but he's really excited about that change and excited to do something different. And like I said...
How can he be excited about fighting a man that's 24 stone? Your words, Eddie, not mine.
It was never an intention. You know, we wanted to go in Wembley on April 13th, but this opportunity presented itself. And I think with everything happening in the world in terms of heavyweight boxing, this is a major statement. And you don't really get many chances to headline at Madison Square Garden. Like I said earlier, the names that have done it are iconic in the sport of boxing. So to have on his resume, you know, Wembley Stadium, Millennium Stadium, Madison Square Garden, is an incredible achievement for a British heavyweight. And, you know, like I said, we want to take that Lions Den to New York on June the 1st. We're going to be announcing a massive card starting nice and early for people watching at home in the UK, and obviously if you can make the trip out, we're going to give you a weekend you won't forget.
Fantastic.
I wonder how many people are going to go out to New York to watch Joshua fight Black Bean.
So listen, I'm sure you're looking forward to it. We certainly are. Eddie, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Cheers.
I can't cope with Eddie Hearn no more. He keeps putting Joshua's name in there with Joe Louis and Muhammad Ali. Oh my God.